Thanks for joining us here on your 4 to 5. I'm Tahay Chamois, working from home alongside Maddie Gardner and Eric Chilton. We may be socially distancing, but we are still working to keep you informed and connected on what's going on in the world.
Absolutely. Don't forget to join our conversation on Facebook. Use our hashtag 4 to 5 and we'll chat with you there. But first, let's start the show this afternoon with your 4 to 5 roundup, and we'll begin with some reopening news. Get ready to shop. Friendly Center in Greensboro will reopen this Saturday. Now, not all stores will be open, but as a whole, the shopping center will open from 11 until 7, except on Sundays when it will only open from noon until 6. They have made some adjustments, like adding hand sanitizer stations, and any gatherings larger than 10 people will be broken up. It's the same at Haynes Mall in Winston-Salem. The mall will reopen on Saturday from 11 until 7. Again, those limited hours of noon until 6 will be in place on Sundays. But not all stores will open just yet. Belk is going to open next week on May 11th. Products that come into the store will quarantine for 72 hours and fitting rooms will be closed. Just a couple of ways that the retailer is working to keep everyone healthy. Also starting on Monday, May 11th, passengers riding High Point buses will have to wear a mask. Now, if you don't have a mask, you can wear any type of face covering. Buses will have a supply of disposable masks to give to passengers who might not have one. But transportation officials say the supply is limited and only one will be handed out to each passenger. Well, did you see the flyover? It was quick, but this North Carolina Air Guard plane crossed the state today as a way to say thank you to frontline workers. Hundreds of people snapped photos of the flyover today. The plane left Charlotte at 10 o'clock this morning, and it crossed over the Triad around 11:15. It flew over Winston-Salem, then High Point, then Greensboro. By 11:40, it was out of the area and already in Durham. From there, it went to Raleigh, Goldsboro, Greenville, Jacksonville, Wilmington, and then back to Charlotte.
We're just over 24 hours away from entering phase 1 of reopening North Carolina. It's just the beginning of a slow process of getting back to normal. Here's a couple reminders about what phase 1 means. You can now leave your house for commercial activity, not just essential things. That will include some retail stores like malls we mentioned just a few moments ago. Stores will be allowed to increase the amount of people inside, so a reminder to keep social distancing. Bars and restaurants, gyms, movie theaters, and salons will still remain closed. Again, you will not be able to sit down and eat at a restaurant tomorrow night. Grocery stores will start getting busier since more people will be allowed in at once. So here are some tips to stay healthy. Prepare a list in advance, wear a mask or face covering, practice social distancing, carry your own wipes if you have them, and wash your hands once you're home and again after you put the groceries away.
Officials in Winston-Salem say their effort to get everyone in the city a mask are going well. Today, leaders gave an update on the Mask the City campaign. So far, 390,000 masks have been handed out to people. Most masks were purchased by employers for their employees. About 65,000 masks were given out to low-income and high-risk community members. Now, coming up on May 12th, the city plans to give out 20,000 more masks to seniors. And an update from Greensboro city officials, the free mask giveaways have wrapped up. The city gave out 30,000 over the past 2 weeks, with some giveaways running out of supplies in the very first hour. A reminder, wearing a mask will not prevent you from getting sick, but it can help stop you from spreading the virus to others if you're not showing symptoms.
All right, let's get to some money headlines right now. We do want to start with those stimulus checks. Now, the IRS laid out what to do if you maybe got a check on behalf of someone in your family that was deceased. So the IRS says that any stimulus check that has been sent to someone who has passed away needs to be returned. If you got a paper check, you'll need to write void on the back of the check and then send it back. North Carolina residents will need to send it back to the Treasury Department office in Memphis. If you got a direct deposit payment, that needs to be refunded as well. You'll also need to write a check to the Treasury Department and send it to that office in Memphis. We have the address listed for you on our website, WFNYnews2.com. High school graduations are coming up, and those rising college costs may leave parents wondering, how are they going to be able to afford college, especially in the middle of a pandemic? Well, one way you can do so is contributing to what's called the North Carolina College Savings Plan, or the NC 529 plan.
The hardest part is just starting.
Paying for college can seem like a daunting task. According to educationdata.org, the average 2019-2020 yearly price for tuition, fees, room and board was $30,000.
We always encourage individuals to start planning ahead.
Tequila Hall says parents should look at enrolling in the NC 529 plan. Earnings from money put into that account don't get taxed when it's used to pay for higher education expenses like tuition, room and board, and books.
Anyone 18 or older can establish an account for someone. So sometimes it's parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, friends of the family.
The funds can also be used for K through 12 education, though many use it for college. Hall says the plan now allows people to use it to cover student loan debt and certain apprenticeship programs.
So those are two things that people may not know about the 529, and we're so excited to be able to share more information with individuals.
One drawback is that you can be penalized if you use the funds for an unqualified expense. If you have an account and your child got a refund from the university due to the COVID-19 pandemic, Hall says you will need to redeposit that money to avoid a penalty.
Usually, 60 days after they receive the refund, and they want to do a redeposit, we would like for them to get that in. So right now, we do give them until July 15th.
Hall says even if your child is graduating in a few weeks, you can still benefit from opening an account.
It's not too late, and we always tell individuals that, save as much as you can. So if it's just for books, if it's for tuition, anything that you can save is going to be helpful.
Now, as an added bonus, NC 529 is going to be giving out $5,529. It's part of a contest to existing holders of an account or ones that are created here in the next month. I will explain all the contest rules in this story on our website, WFNYnews2.com.
So we've seen really comfortable temperatures today. A little cool in the morning, that's for sure, but we rebounded nicely. Heading into the night tonight, though, you're going to look for those temperatures in the lower 40s. It's going to be chilly over the next several mornings. In fact, flat out cold for your weekend. 41 will be the low tonight. I think we'll see some high clouds develop into the overnight hours, and tomorrow morning, an increase in clouds during the day on Friday with rain possibilities late in the day and a high of 64. When you look at our satellite and radar combination, you see we're all clear. There's a big ridge of high pressure over us for now. Now that will move on to the east, and that's a game changer for us because it opens the door for that cold front to move through. We do not expect winds, or excuse me, we do expect winds. We don't expect any thunderstorm activity with this, but you will see some rain probably late afternoon and into Friday evening, clearing out by the time we head into Saturday and Sunday. But those winds are going to be up there for your Friday. This is Friday at about this time, roughly, and you're looking at winds anywhere from 25 to 30 miles per hour. They could go as high as 40 in some areas, but that is something we'll watch. Otherwise, for your weekend, we'll clear out, but boy, will it be cold. Overnight lows in the 30s. That's very cold for us. 34 to 37 for Saturday and Sunday morning. At least Sunday's a little bit warmer for Mother's Day there at 64. And then back to the mid to upper 60s with sunshine for the first part of next week. More of the 4 to 5 is coming up. Stay right there.
Hello, mic check. Mic check, 1, 2, 3, mic check. Do you want to cue me or am I talking? Okay, okay. Okay.
NASCAR is coming back on TV in about a week and a half. There will be 7 races in just 11 days. So who's in charge of taking care of making sure that all those cars are ready in record time? WFMY News 2's Amanda Ferguson tells us how one company is preparing.
When you think of NASCAR, you think of those loud engines, but those engines wouldn't work without someone taking care of them. And that's going to be a big responsibility coming up with a lot of races in a short amount of time. Now, I found a company that will have that responsibility, Hera Enterprise. The owner, Andrew Hera, says he takes care of transmissions for 20 cars that race. Normally, after a Sunday race, he'll get the car the next day to work on. Now there's going to be 2 or 3 races a week. So Hera says his guys are going to be working a lot of overtime, but he's just happy NASCAR's coming back.
Racing is really an addicting sport, and this is the only time. There's always like a couple weeks in the winter where there's nothing racing, but this is the only time I can remember where people were in race cars around here, like on Friday, Saturday night, Sunday night. Even like the grassroots racing. This is the center of the racing world down here, and the fact that I haven't heard an engine start up in however many weeks it's been is crazy. So I'm very happy it's that.
It is exciting, but it will be a lot of work. Now, coming up at 5, I'll show you the process behind taking care of these cars and how they plan to do this in such a short time.
All right, who is ready for some football, specifically Carolina Panthers football? There might not be any action just yet, but tonight we are going to learn more about the upcoming season. The NFL is releasing game schedules later this evening. Now, we already know the matchups for the 32 teams, but tonight we'll learn when those games will be played. Right now, the NFL is planning to start the season on time. Sure to bring you updates tonight on WFMY News 2 at 11 and, of course, online at WFMYnews2.com. The 4 to 5 will be right back.
Hey, Mother's Day is Sunday, right? That's the big day. And while you may have a present for her already, I have found something that you need to add to the list. Thanks to our friends at Quaintance Weaver, they have combined items from 3 of Greensboro's best restaurants all rolled into one. Take a look.
Audrey, obviously, this is a special weekend coming up, so everybody comes up with new menus. Tell us what's going on with your Mother's Day menu and how people can participate in this.
Yeah, super exciting. We're excited to see all of our guests on Sunday, and we're doing Mother's Day to go. It's a meal designed for 4 people, 4 folks, and there's different options. There's brunch casserole, fried chicken, an option for lamb, and an option for our famous salmon that people love.
That is a favorite on the list. Now, when people do this, how it's pickup, right? Takeout kind of thing.
Yeah, it's we've figured out a way to do a curbside pickup. So they place their order online at the time designated, and then arrive at that time and drive through, pick up the order, and put it in their car. It's a contact-free pickup that we're doing. So, and then they'll just be able to take off, go home, and enjoy their meal with their family.
Now, a lot of people are familiar with your menu, but I'm sure you guys put some thought into what you choose for Mother's Day. I mean, are these just the most popular ones, or did you come up with anything new?
We did, you know, having 3 restaurants, we wanted to kind of combine the concepts a little bit. It's Lucky's, Lucky 32's fried chicken recipe, and the salmon obviously came from our Green Valley Grill menu. The lamb idea came from the Printworks menu. So we did a combination of all 3 restaurants. So that was a lot of fun.
That's awesome. And all 3 are good on my list. So do this again for Father's Day. Do you understand me?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we'll come up with something. Thanks, Audrey. We appreciate your time today.
So very cool. If you want to check this out, you just go to Green Valley Grill's webpage. I have linked you to that in this story. It is up right now on WFNYnews2.com. Now, other restaurants have Mother's Day specials as well, in case you're interested. Cafe Pasta on State Street has one in Greensboro. The Sage Mule is reopening with a limited menu just in time for Mother's Day. And Elm Street Grill is offering family-sized meals to go and wine pairings there. The bottles are 50% off. You just ask for Robbie there. And the service, which is called Your Dinner Awaits, has brunch and dinner meals to feed 4, and they'll deliver those straight to your door. They're very cool. A great resource, too, to find a deal is the Greensboro Local Takeout page on Facebook. If you search Mother's Day there, you can see what all the Triad restaurants are up to, and now I'm hungry.
Yeah, Eric's stories always make us hungry, right? Well, we know holidays and family celebrations, they're different during the pandemic, so we wanted to know what you plan to do for Mother's Day weekend. Both Eric Chilton and WFNY's Tracy McCain got some good comments on their Facebook pages. Dottie Matheson said, "My kids that live in North Carolina are planning a cookout. Yes, it's going to be a cold cookout with 7 of us outside. Already received some beautiful flowers." Barbara Drigger said, "My mom lives in South Carolina. Usually my daughter and I go visit, but not this year, so I sent her a nice plant, plus we'll talk." And Rodrika Jones said, "Ordering takeout at the house." Christine Stewart says, "Apparently there's a virtual tea party in our garden planned." Oh, that's awesome. So, okay, Eric and Tahisha, any plans for you guys?
Well, I gotta say, Maddie, my mother is watching this live stream, Facebook told me. So, Mom, since you're watching, you have a card and a couple gifts coming in the mail. I don't know if they're gonna get there by Sunday, but I'll FaceTime you on Sunday. So there's my plans.
Very good, very good. Leslie said all she wanted was a break from cooking, so we're doing takeout from one of her favorite restaurants and bringing it back for all 6 of us.
I love that. I'm with Tahisha. My mom is watching right now, so I can't reveal all of my secrets just yet, but something is in the works. Something's on the way, so that's good. All right, still ahead, some good news to make you smile, including a new baby. Why, we are so excited to introduce you to this precious little girl and who she belongs to. That's coming up after the break.
right, when you're looking at the forecast, the first thing you'll notice are these temperatures out there. So mid to upper 60s, pretty comfortable, right? A little bit below normal for us this time of the year, but we better get used to that because we're entering into a chilly spell, really all the way through probably the first part of next week. We are not where we need to be for temperatures. We're clear right now, so at least we have that. We're happy about that. Clear skies today. That will change as we head into tomorrow. Clouds will build. You saw some of that rain on the left side of your screen. Here it comes, courtesy of that low pressure there. Winds are very strong ahead and behind this front, so it will make for a windy Friday, that's for sure. With a rain chance probably Friday evening. We think it'll get out of here, though, by early Saturday morning. So bottom line is for overnight lows tonight, just look for those lows around 41, some clouds building in. And then as we head into tomorrow, 64 with the late day shower chances.
For Mother's Day weekend, singer Beyonce and her mom are joining the fight against coronavirus. The hashtag I Did My Part campaign will provide free test kits, PPE, and household supplies to underrepresented communities in Houston. Tina Knowles Lawson started the campaign to bring awareness to coronavirus and how it's hit the African American community. Lawson says she hopes the campaign will become a movement that encourages African Americans to get tested.
All right, it was a special wedding anniversary for a couple in their golden years. More than 100 people came together to celebrate Dorothy and Paul Hatch's 70th anniversary. Take a look at this. The Hatches were high school sweethearts and got married in May of 1950, but 70 years later, they have even more to celebrate. They have 7 children, 40 grandchildren, and 71 great-grandchildren, with 4 more on the way.
All right, so an update to a story that we told you about earlier this week, and arguably my favorite story of the week. A Lamborghini dream of a 5-year-old in a Utah family finally came true. In case you hadn't heard about this, earlier this week, this 5-year-old Adrian took the keys to his parents' SUV after his parents refused to buy him a Lamborghini. He got stopped. Yes, he's 5 years old, by the way. Got stopped by the Highway Patrol. Fast forward to yesterday, and Adrian's family met up with Jerem to take a ride in his Lamborghini. This story has a happy ending, but Adrian's parents say, look, you should never leave your spare keys in reach of your kids. And that is an understatement. Finally, some good news we're very excited about here on the 4 to 5. Please meet the newest member of the WFMY News 2 family, Bree Bennett. You know her dad, Brian, if you watch the 4 to 5. He's usually here chatting with us online and you guys at home as well. Baby Bree arrived at 7 pounds, 2 ounces. She and her mom are doing well. We'll miss Brian while he spends some time adjusting to life as a new dad. He's got a lot of work ahead of him. That is a cute, cute baby.
Yeah, we miss Brian today. We wish we could talk to him about this, but he has a little bit of responsibility to take care of, but she is gorgeous. So congratulations to the Bennett family, now a party of 3.
To quote you, Maddie, sweet baby angel. I mean, she is just darling. I remember when we first debuted this show, if you remember, guys, on December 2nd, Brian came out of the gate and he was like, hey, me and my wife are expecting. And everyone was like, wait a second, did you just breaking news, you know, starting the 4 to 5. So I want to say big congratulations to the Bennett family, and I can't wait to meet her in person. I just want to grab her cheeks. Well, more of the 4 to 5 after this break. Let us know where you're watching from. We are enjoying this conversation that we are having on the WFMY News 2 Facebook page. Leave a comment for Brian Bennett, and he and his wife will see it once they log on Facebook. We'll be right back.
Hey, ice cold milk and an Oreo cookie, they forever go together like a classic combination.
Welcome back to the 4 to 5. We are having some fun today. I'm Eric Chilton. I'm at my house broadcasting. So is Tahisha Moyes doing the same thing. Maddie Gardner in studio. Don't forget, this is kind of an interactive show, right? We want you on WFMY News 2's Facebook page, talking with us when you can. Use that hashtag 4 to 5. Also, our YouTube page as well. And much more ahead on the 4 to 5. Stay with us.
Absolutely. We'll go ahead and get started here with your 4 to 5 roundup. So, Tahisha, what are the latest updates?
All right, let's start with phase 1 because that is a big talker here in North Carolina. North Carolina is entering phase 1 of its reopening plan. In just a little more than 24 hours, several retailers will be allowed to open again, as well as state parks. So some of those retail stores that will open include more Triad Goodwill stores. Last week, if you remember, 7 stores opened after qualifying as an essential business. Tomorrow, 9 more will open as the organization works to get closer to a new normal. The stores will be open from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. each day. You can find a list of those retail stores that will be open to customers on our website, WFMYnews2.com. In other news, a woman is in jail after police say she fired shots into a McDonald's when employees told her that she couldn't eat inside. Police say employees tried to explain the dining room situation in Oklahoma City, saying it was closed, but the upset customer wouldn't leave. Investigators say she then fired 3 shots into the restaurant. The employees were hurt, but they are all expected to recover. No word yet on what charges the woman who fired the gun will face. And unemployment continues to skyrocket around the country. Last week, 3.2 million people filed for unemployment. And in total, more than 33 million people nationwide have applied for benefits in the past 7 weeks. Here in North Carolina, more than 1 million people have applied for unemployment, and 400,000 applicants have been paid so far. And Guilford College's speaker series is rescheduled with a mix of virtual and in-person events. So here are the changes you need to know about, because it was supposed to happen this year with some of those events happening at the Tanger Center, including a night with actress Sally Fields. Those are now rescheduled for the fall and for next year, 2021. Pollster Harrison Hickman will speak at a virtual event on September 17th. The school says another fall virtual event could be scheduled. Sally Fields has been rescheduled until February 2nd, 2021 at the Tanger Center. And another notable name, former UK Prime Minister Theresa May, will speak next year on March 18th.
Well, pediatric doctors' offices are doing things differently right now to make sure that patients stay healthy. WFMY News 2's Grace Holland spoke to a Novant Health Clinic doctor that's meeting patients however they can.
This is what a lot of doctors' visits look like around the Triad now, done virtually on phones and laptops. And for some pediatric patients and their families, the car is becoming the waiting room and the exam room as doctors find new ways and places to treat their patients.
I've loved having families say, please don't look at the mess in my car. And I laugh because everybody has a messy car, especially if they have children.
It's a new place to see her pediatric patients, but Dr. Tricia Cribbs says the back seat is sometimes more hassle-free for families.
This is fabulous because now I don't have to wrestle with 3 children to get them into the office, and we're still getting everything done that we needed to do.
Novant Health Arbor Pediatrics started doing the visits back in March in an effort to limit the number of patients coming into the building. She says well visits, sick visits, and even vaccines have been done through the car window.
But occasionally, for example, the 4-year visit has 3 vaccines. We just didn't feel that that would be safe, and so we've actually brought the children in through the back door into an exam room.
Cribbs says they're slowly bringing more patients into the office, but virtual and drive-up visits may continue.
There are some parts of this that I'd love to maintain after the quarantine.
In Winston-Salem, Grace Holland, WFMY News 2.
Well, being out of school, not seeing friends, and missing class, it can be stressful for students. And that's why Mari Bradley of Turrentine Middle School lightened the mood this morning with a virtual Mad Hatter's Tea Party for her students. Usually, Ms. Bradley hosts a party in a classroom. It's a years-old tradition to relieve stress before testing. This year, of course, that wasn't an option, so she took to Zoom. Students had to wear a funky hat and tell a bad joke. She says it was just as beneficial for her as it was for the kids.
It's so important to stay connected with your students. And today was just a day where we could just be goofy and tell bad puns. And it's always hard to leave a meeting with them. It's always hard to say goodbye. The grief for teachers is real, not being with their kids. You guys are a little tiny bit scary.
Well, Ms. Bradley says she loved seeing all of the creative hats that the students wore, but her favorite, if you can see it here, it was the one with a roll of toilet paper on the front. She says it was appropriate for the situation we're currently in. And then she told the student to make sure he put the roll of toilet paper back since it's so valuable right now.
And you come to me after that. Thank you so much. Is that a commentary? Anyway, here's what we're talking about with our forecast. Look for clear skies early. Well, you notice how I went right into it. Some high clouds will develop late. 41 degrees, that's the overnight low, which we hit in the morning hour. So it's going to be a cold start to your Friday, that's for sure, in case you do have to go somewhere. 64 degrees for your Friday. Look for winds to go on the increase. There's a chance we could see winds 30 or 40 miles per hour with this system as it moves by. Not so much a thunderstorm situation, but just strong winds, and we will see some rain at the end of the day. It looks like some late day showers, but again, those gusts up to 35 to 40 miles per hour. After that, your weekend is clear and cold with morning lows in the 30s, only 58 on Saturday, but at least we have sunshine. There is a chance we could have frost Saturday and Sunday morning. That's a big deal for our farmers at this point in the game. We'll talk more about that later. Mother's Day, a high of 64 and all sunshine.
All right, so right from the get-go, we're going to start with a question, and it deals with the good old washing machine, okay? So here it is. Before coronavirus, would you wash brand new clothes that you just bought before you wore them?
Okay, so Tanda, you always put me on the spot here with these
There's
types
no
of
wrong
questions
answer. There's
because
no wrong
people
answer.
are going to judge me for this, but I didn't do that.
Okay. I do not think that you are alone on this. Okay. In fact, I asked on Twitter, what would people do before coronavirus? 62% at the moment are saying they always wash their clothes before they wear them, but 37% say, you know what, I never do that. We're going to continue to let this go on, see what you say. Health officials, though, say you should always wash your clothes. And why is that? This is even before coronavirus. They said there's all kinds of chemicals, all kinds of dyes, all kinds of anti-wrinkle stuff that's on those clothes, and it could give you like a little rash or allergic reaction, and you may think to yourself, I've never gotten an allergic reaction, but you know what, you probably did have other people's germs on those clothes and on you. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say. All right, we bring this up because soon you'll be able to go to clothing stores. 2 Wants to Know made several inquiries today and found only 1 retailer out of these 4 will have their dressing rooms open when the state reopens. So tonight at 6, we look at their policies for when folks do try on clothes or return them. Yeah, okay, we're going to take a look at that next. And there are still many stimulus questions that you have about payments and taxes and all that jazz. We have experts for you to answer your questions. Text your stimulus-related questions to 336-379-5775. Again, this is text only. We start our Q&A at 5:30.
So little by little, you know, we're all going back to normal, which means we'll be leaving the house and going into the office a little bit. Coming up, we'll get some health separation that pets can experience as the 4 to 5 continues. We'll see you in a bit.
Welcome back to your 4 to 5. Just look at the screen for a bit. Imagine you're here. This is a live look at Nags Head. How does a beach vacation sound these days? That tropical music as well. It makes me, you know, want to lay out in the sun. The waves, the sand, all of that. North Carolina beaches, they are reopening soon. Actually, the Outer Banks are going to reopen soon to visitors. We'll give you the information here. Kitty Hawk, Kill Devil Hills, and Nags Head will reopen on Saturday, May 16th. Now, if you plan to head to the beach, you'll still have to abide by social distancing guidelines. That is a big rule. Well, as the reopening process unfolds across the country, more people will start to travel again. But the next time you get on an airplane, things are going to look different. CBS's Chris Van Cleve talked with the head of Southwest Airlines about how the industry is working to keep passengers healthy.
By Monday, virtually all U.S. airlines will require passengers and crew to wear masks. How do you enforce mask wearing on a plane?
If we can tell people in advance that they should expect that we're requiring them to wear a mask, then I think the vast majority of people understand why and will absolutely comply. We don't want to be the police.
Airlines are adding plexiglass at check-in and ticket counters. You'll see them at TSA checkpoints as well. Carriers are continuing to enhance cleaning on both planes and at airports. Southwest is using electrostatic foggers to disinfect planes. They can kill bacteria and virus on surfaces for up to 30 days. And Kelly says their aircraft utilize hospital-grade air filters.
The airplane can be hospital-grade cleaned until you put people on it who may or may not be healthy, and that's where the risk comes in, right?
It is, and that's why I think leading up to that, wash your hands, don't come to the airport if you're sick, let's do temperature screening. Ultimately, obviously, the solution is to have testing, therapeutics, a vaccine.
Is social distancing even possible on an airplane?
Well, I think that's why the multi-layered approach is important. We'll have wipes on the airplane that each customer can take. Requiring masks on the airplane are important because you won't necessarily all be 6 feet apart.
Would removing the middle seat make a difference?
We're not going to block the seat, we're not going to take the seats out, but we won't book the number of passengers that would demand that we use the middle seats.
Southwest has grounded about 400 planes and cut capacity by up to 70% as passenger traffic plummeted. But Kelly sees this as temporary.
I do think that things will get back to normal, but not until we defeat this pandemic.
And the head of Southwest Airlines says it could be 5 years for business travel to hit 2019 levels again.
All right, we know a lot of you are itching to travel after all of these stay-at-home orders. So I asked you on my Facebook page today, I said, what place in North Carolina or even the country are you looking forward to going to most after things start opening back up? And I got a lot of answers, and a lot of people were saying the beach, but they also had some other options here across the country. Tracy wrote, Carolina Beach and Curie Beach. I miss beaches so much. Me too, Tracy. Me too. Maud writes here, Biltmore Hotel in Asheville. Love that. Steffi writes, Florida or Boston, so I can go see my family members. And Michelle, I know a lot of people can relate with Michelle. She writes, my hairdresser.
I knew that was coming. All right, as the world slowly reopens, that means that more of us obviously are returning to our offices. Well, we've been home for a while, right? And our pets are used to us being home. So when you have to readjust to that, there could be some trouble there. So we had to go to the experts to get a little help. Take a look.
So when you need help talking with the pets, you go to Gwen Kuykendall. She's an expert here with dog training. And Gwen, obviously the separation anxiety is a real thing, and these animals are going to experience that when we go back to normal and everybody heads back to work. What do we need to think about?
Well, you want to start now. Dogs are creatures of habit. They like routine and consistency, so you'll have to start their routine without you being in it as soon as you can. You know, for the last 2 months, you've been in their routine, so try to pick up your keys, pick up your pocketbook, pick up your lunch out of the refrigerator, and you want to not leave. Do this several times a day, but don't leave. And then walk out for 10 minutes, then start your car, always staying in and out of the house.
Gwen, you and I were speaking earlier. You said there are some things maybe you could put in their crate that will help them out a little bit.
What you want to first figure out what your dog really enjoys and what will last maybe half hour, 40 minutes. Maybe they can come back to it throughout the day. A bully stick, a Kong filled with some peanut butter, something that your dog particularly likes that will last all day.
Well, this is great advice, and I know we got to relieve that pet stress as much as possible so they don't act out while we're gone, and obviously we care about our animals. Gwen, thanks for taking time out today. We appreciate it.
All right, so if you need more advice, you can reach out to the Kuykendalls on their website. I've linked you to their website through this story. Just find it on WFMYnews2.com. The 4 to 5 continues in just a minute.
Welcome back to your 4 to 5. WFMY News 2 is set to upgrade our broadcast signal. So if you're on cable, satellite, or using a streaming provider, you won't see any disruption. Just customers who receive our signal with an over-the-air antenna. Beginning on May 8th through May 15th, WFMY will be broadcasting from our auxiliary antenna while upgrades are being done to our main antenna. On Friday, May 15th at 7 a.m., you'll need to rescan your TV to make sure it receives WFMY's new broadcast channel. Just go to the menu setting on your remote and look for setup or installation. There you're going to want to look for the word auto program or program channels, and then you would press scan. It will take just a few minutes. Again, this change is taking place on Friday, May 15th. It's for our customers who get our channel using a TV antenna.
Forecast wise, yes, today we are comfortable in the mid to upper 60s, but the cold weather is poised to move in Friday night. Tomorrow's still a decent day. It's just going to be cold in the mornings. 41 degrees to start your morning, then clouds build, 64 for the high, but late day showers and winds are going to be up to 35 to 40 miles per hour on Friday. Kind of a blustery and then rainy night. Saturday, Sunday, all clear, but morning frost is possible with lows in the 30s. Very cold for this time of the year. Some of that could be record setting. We'll let you know. 58 on Saturday, 64 for Mother's Day, sunny through your weekend. Next week, start to warm it up again, mid to upper 60s and sunny Monday through Wednesday, 76 and sunny on Thursday.
Let's get to some reasons to smile. Here at WFMY News 2, we want to celebrate the graduating class of 2020. So we've been doing what we call our senior shout outs and asking you to send us photos and information of your seniors. So let's get into some of our submissions today. First up is Xavier, who is a senior at Ben Smith High School. He was homecoming king. And hey, do you notice who's in that photo with him? It's WFMY's Amanda Ferguson interviewing him at a game. Xavier will attend Guilford College and will play football there this fall. And Brianna is graduating from Graham High School. She has a passion for the arts and was a part of her school dance team dance company. She will be attending UNCG after graduation. And if you want us to share your senior shout outs, all you have to do is find the submission form on our website, submit photos of your senior, but not professional photos. Be sure to include their name and their school, and also a personal message.
Coming up on WFMY News 2 at 5, social media is a great place to spread information. It's also an easy place for misinformation to spread. A new video about your stimulus check is spreading on TikTok and Facebook. We're going to break down the video and why you won't have to pay back the money. That's ahead.
Hi, ice cold milk and an Oreo cookie. They forever go together.
Hi, Callie. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Hello, mic check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Hello, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1.
Never.
At least you can put it on if you do.
Hey, mic check, 1, 2, 3.
It is time for my 2 cents, and I want to start by reminding you that one day, sooner rather than later, this is all going to be over. It's important that we keep our eyes on the prize. A sense of anticipation can energize us and get us through tough times. So what are you looking forward to when all of this is over, or even every day? I asked, you responded. Tracy Whitman Anderson is looking forward to going to the beach with her family. And grandparents, yeah, I hear ya. Karen Ryder cannot wait to see her 2 grandsons and for them to meet their 1-month-old cousin for the first time. Tommy and Kim Jessup are ready to take their first grandchild camping. Joan Martin is going to visit this cutie in D.C., and Judy Grove is looking forward to seeing and holding her adorable grandson. Mary Catherine Patterson is ready to get back in the pew to worship with her church and her family. Joe and Debbie Hallett agree they are looking to the promise of listening to their preacher and being with their church family. Some of you are ready to take a trip. Jim Hoops, he's going to Ohio. Pam Pettis is heading to Surfside Beach. And for some of y'all, it's the little things, right? Lindsay Bowman wants to smell the candles at TJ Maxx and Home Goods. John Kell just wants to give some handshakes and hugs. Christina Cromwell looks forward to her slow mornings with coffee and her new puppy, Evie. Diane Chambers is ready to get her hair cut and colored. Oh, and to go to the nail salon. Teachers like Kimberly Belk, they're ready to be in an actual classroom with students and a school building with their colleagues. Tracy Rudder will get to watch her son graduate soon. And Stephen Corner, well, he's looking forward to not hearing about this virus every second of the day. For me, I'm ready to see these guys, Eric and Tahisha, and to do this show in the same studio again. And I'm looking forward to meeting my twin nieces due next month and hugging my family. They say you never know what you've got until it's gone, and I hope we all remember the things we've missed once all of this is over and never take them for granted again. But most importantly, I'm glad we all have things to look forward to. That's my 2 cents. That's your 4 to 5. WFMY News 2 at 5 starts now.
We are 24 hours away until the first phase of reopening North Carolina.
As we get closer and closer, Triad shopping malls are announcing their plans. Let's start with the Friendly Shopping Center in Greensboro. It will be reopening this Saturday at 11 a.m. Make sure to check ahead because not all stores will be reopening and restaurants are still only offering takeout and delivery. Haynes Mall in Winston-Salem will also reopen on Saturday at 11 a.m. Some areas will remain closed, including the food court seating areas and drinking fountains, along with the children's play areas. Belk stores across the state will remain closed until Monday. Dressing rooms will stay closed even when the stores reopen. The Four Seasons Town Center in Greensboro has not announced their plans yet. Meantime, the Guilford County Health Department is adding more community testing. It's by appointment only, and only people who fall into high-risk categories will be tested. It should take about 3 days to get the results. And starting on Monday, you will be required to wear a mask or face covering while riding a High Point City bus. Passengers who do not have a mask will be given